publication structure. First of all, one root folder required. Okay. For example, folder name first step. Now I given steps to the web application as well as web application folder structure. Both I given yesterday class. Okay. See the step to develop web application. What is first step? Create a web application folder structure. That is first step. Notes are given. Okay. Will place present. Okay. Later, anyhow, we use Eclipse. At the time, we'll go for dot class. Separate automatically generated. Dot classes file here, like first servlet dot Java. First servlet dot class. Now, if we use Eclipse, these two automatically separated in Eclipse. Manually, if you want to do with -d option, you have to do. Okay, Java C -d. Now, first we'll compile first servlet dot class. After this, web.xml. Now, present jar files, HTML file, those are not required for welcome program. First welcome program purpose only this is enough. Okay. Now, this is first web application folder structure. First.var. Now, here this file, this folder structure web.inf, it is compulsory web.inf only. It should be classes only. It should be web.xml only. Remaining whatever you want, you can write. Now, whatever I given tick mark, that is compulsory. This folder name must be web-inf. This folder name must be classes in small letters. It is capital letter with hyphen. It is small letters. .xml. That file name should be web only extension .xml only. Here first .var, whatever you want, you can write. Now, after this, what we'll do, we'll develop application. After that, we'll deploy in server. Suppose it is web server. Like this, we are going to select Tomcat web server. Tomcat web server. This application I'll deploy here. This application I'll deploy in a server. First.var. After this, from browser, I'll send the request. From browser, I'll send the request. Already I told you, for understanding this complete program word by word, 3 days it will take. 3 days. Today onwards, 3 days. So Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, 3 days it will take. Once if you understand first program, second program, nothing. In 5 minutes you can do. Okay. Now, because advanced Java very simple. Only library. That's it. Now, from browser, I'll send the request. This browser is nothing but web client. Browser is nothing but web client. Now, any one browser. Web client. Now, from web client, I'll send the request. This request is called HTTP request. Then from server, response comes. From server, response comes HTTP response. This is HTTP response. Then you will get output welcome. That's it. First program. Write this structure, everything. So you should have a patience. 3 days it will take to explain. 3 days. Today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay. Then you will get a complete clarity. 100% clarity comes. First web application, folder structure, and output. Here, what is URL, what is URI, what is URN, what is HTTP, everything I'll cover. Is it over? Not over? Here, one root folder you have to create first. Root folder name, for example, I selected first tab, WebINF. In that WebINF, classes. So these 3 folders create first. We have to create, for example, first tab. In that WebINF, in that classes, we have to write Solid program. We have to compile. After that, ML. Later, we have to create WAR file. This WAR file we have to deploy in server. That is called our web application deployed. From browser, you have to send request. Then output comes welcome. This is our task. This is our task. Okay. Sir, nothing. New folder, right click, new folder will create in Windows. In a operating system, MD. First program. First is Solid's library required. Fitting this program, we record Sowlet's library. That Sowlet library, I'll explain. Note down. Sowlet's library, Sowlet's API. Sowlet's API. Sowlet's API. Sowlet's API is a Java API that can be used to develop web applications. Sowlet's API is a Java API that can be used to develop web applications. Now, there are two cases like Java x.sowlet package. This is Java x.sowlet.hdp package or jakarta.sowlet.hdp package. So up to Tomcat 9, Java X, Tomcat 10 onwards, Jakarta. The package name changed. Okay. That's what Java X, Jakarta X, Jakarta dot, like that. Either this or this. Now, first one, Java X dot Sowlet or Jakarta dot Sowlet package. In this package, classes, interfaces. First one, generic Sowlet. Sowlet input stream. Sowlet request. Sowlet output stream. Write clearly. Each word first letter, no space between words. Sowlet config. Each word first letter is capital and no space between words. Each word first letter is capital. No space between words. Unavailable exception. Sowlet context. Request dispatcher. Single thread mode. These 5 classes, 7 interfaces, if you are familiar, you can write programs in this package. So Java only you should know methods, you should know classes, you should know interfaces, you should know. With that knowledge, any program you can write. Only first program, if you know, second program. See, observe JDBC program, first program, later second program onwards, same style. Here also, first program, understand, second program in a 5 minutes you can complete. It is possible. Java x.sowlet or in first package, 5 classes, 7 interfaces. Each first letter is capital, no space between words. Write clearly. Java x.solid.hp, jakarta.solid.hdp. Second package. Year classes interfaces. HDP solid. HDP solid request. HDP session. HDP solid response. Sorry, 1 minute. HDP HDP solid cookie. 2 classes, 3 interfaces in this package. In this package, 2 classes, 3 interfaces. So 10 with this only solids will understand. HDP solid request, HDP solid response, HDP session, HDP solid cookie classes. Write it. Solid API is a part of solid-api.jar file. In it. So it is not a part of Java. That's we have to install server first. We have to install Tomcat server. Solids API. Solids API is a part of solid-api.jar file in a Tomcat web server. So first of all, we have to download Tomcat web server. Down Tomcat web server, we have to see this, okay? And even in Eclipse also, we have to configure, compulsory, configuration required. Is it over? Now, 1 minute. In my system also, I changed system. Anyhow, in my system also, Tomcat not there. I'll download, I'll install, I'll show you. Now, next note on steps to download Tomcat server. Steps to download Tomcat web server. Steps to download Tomcat web server. The browser. Is it on? 1 minute. Tomcat 11 also introduced, but it is alpha version. Better to go for Tomcat 10. Okay. Because it is alpha version. See, Tomcat versions 8, 9, 10, 11 we have. Better to go for Tomcat 10. It is alpha a browser. After that, open Google. In that Google, Tomcat 10 download directly, right? Better. 1 minute. Tomcat 10 download. Now write it. First step, open the browser. Second step, open Google. Third step, type Tomcat download in search bar. Step, click on the following hyperlink. Click on the following hyperlink. Open the browser, open Google, type 10 download in search bar. Tomcat.apache.org. Apache Software Foundation company, they developed Tomcat web server. So official website, apache.org. Is it over? Now, so seeing this CGI, don't think it is CGI program. Okay, I'll explain. We can configure C++ also, possible. Now, Java program you can write, you can configure in URL C++ also. It is possible. CGI already outdated. Now, is it over? On that, you have to click on this one. Okay. Next, click on the following hyperlink. (32-bit) or 64-bit Windows Service Installer. Click on the following hyperlink. 32-bit, 64-bit Windows Service Installer. 64-bit Windows Service Installer. Is it over? See, this is you have to click. It is going to be downloaded. See, downloaded in my system. Apache Tomcat 10 exe file. Downloading completed. Next, steps to install Tomcat. Steps to install Tomcat web server. Now, steps to install Tomcat web server. Open downloads folder. Click on, double click on Apache Tomcat 10.exe file. This is within my system Apache Tomcat 10.0%. Double click on Apache Tomcat C file. Double click on Apache iPhone Tomcat iPhone 10.0.27.exe file. Is it over? Wait. Okay. Now double click on this one. Here, downloads folder. Double click on this one. Click on S button. Click on next button. 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 See, I'll click on next button. Click on I agree button. Click on I agree button. Now here, if you want host manager examples, if you want to see Tomcat built-in examples, you select all checkboxes, click on next button. Select all checkboxes. Click on next button. Select all checkboxes. Click on next button. See, next button I'll click. Here, server shutdown port, better to write 8005. This is also, you make it 8082. Why? I'll explain. Because there are Oracle software will be there. Oracle port number also 8080. That is the reason I changed server shutdown port. Type server shut port 8005. Type HTTP 1.1 connector port. Type HTTP. I'll explain 1.1 connector port. 8082. Now username, for example, admin, password, example, admin. So you want, you can write, I'm writing admin. Type username, admin. Type password, admin. You better to make it 8005. It is 8082. You better to write these port numbers only. Because 8080, many servers, same port number will be there. That ambiguity comes. Don't necessarily write double may work. 8005 8082. Type username, this username, password, whatever you want, you can write. But port numbers you follow, this is only better. Okay. Username, password, whatever you want, you can write. But you remember, don't forget. Again, while loading, deploying, not possible otherwise. Click on next button. Click on next button. Now by default Java path selected. So see, please select the Java path like I already selected. So again click on next button. Again click on next button. Now where it is going to be installed, location comes default. So continue that one only. Click on next install button. Install button. First, next, where it is going to be installed, that location it will ask. That is by default comes, whatever it comes, you don't want to change the location, you have to change by clicking on browse button. Say install. It is going to be installed. Installed. These all later will run. I'll remove. Click on finish button. Click on finish button. Tomcat server downloading, Tomcat server installing completed. Tomcat downloading, Tomcat installing completed. Okay. Now we observe. I'll open command prompt. Here Java P, Java X dot. Now it is Jakarta. Dot Saulet. I'm writing. It is showing class not found. Okay. Class not okay. Because now Tomcat installed, but class path not settled. That is the reason it is showing like that. Now you select the class to view Saulet's API. We need to set the class path. To view Saulet's API, we need to set the class path. To view Saulet's API, we need to set the class path. First, temporary class path. See, these all you should learn. These don't depend on IDs. Okay, this knowledge is also required. Temporary class path. See, this PC, C drive, program files, Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 10, lib, here, solid API. Up to here, that's what command prompt. Set node set class path equal to percentile class path percentile double quotes dot semicolon. After that, solid API dot jar semicolon. That is complete. Says class path percentile in double quotes dot semicolon C drive program files Apache Software Foundation Tomcat 10.0 lib solid API dot jar semicolon. So already while teaching JDBC also I covered this one. What is this one? It is a command to set the class path. This one, append mode. Already existed class paths will be there. This class appended. So up to here Tomcat server location. After that Tomcat. After that library solid API. For this one you have to set. So again this is no need to explain. Already JDBC time I explained. Core Java class also explained. See here. It is a command to set the class path. It is append mode. Already existed class path. This class path appended. It is Tomcat for location. This is Tomcat server in that library, in that solid library. Okay. Temporary class path. Here. Whatever I given, that is only written here. Okay. Now set class path equal to percentile class path percentile in double quotes dot semicolon C drive program files Apache Foundation Tomcat 10.0 lib solid API dot jar. Now you can see. See Java P Jakarta dot solid. Then it shows a solid profile. Now, if you are suppose in your system already Tomcat 9 is continue that one only, not a problem. But you must Java X up to Tomcat 9. That package name is Java X. Tomcat 10 onwards Jakarta. If you are using Tomcat 9 means go for Java X. If you are using Tomcat 10 means Jakarta. Okay. Java also Indonesian island name. Jakarta also Indonesian island name. They changed Tomcat 11 onwards. 10 onwards. Okay. It is Jakarta you are right. Tomcat 10 means. Say you studied already. Can we write main method in if I write main method in a solid, is it executed? No. Why? Because solid runs in server doesn't know main method. Execution purpose, what is required? Life cycle methods. How many life cycle method? When init method called by web container? Whenever when init method called by web container. whenever first request comes to a late. When service by web container for every request. When destroy method called by web container, whenever Soulet instance removed from web container. When Soulet instance is removed, whenever application is undeployed, server shuts down. When first request comes, how many methods called? Two methods. What are those? Init and service. Second request, service. Third request, fourth request, last request, service only. Service only. Okay. When destroy call, whenever application undeployed or server shuts down, then only. Okay. Up to last request, service destroy call, undeployed time, shutdown. Methods belongs to which interface? See, this is this interface in Jakarta.Soulet package. Okay. Here you observe init service method, destroy method. Okay. This is temporary class path. Once if I close this window, that path is vanished. See, again if I open, see Java P Jakarta.Soulet class not found. Because that is temporary class path. Permanent class path you have to set. If you want again and again instead of that one, permanent. Not on permanent. Permanent. Click on Windows button. Type environment variables. In search bar. Directly that, see Windows button here. Search environment variables. Just env if you type also it comes. Edit the system variables, system environment variables. The dialog box comes. Click on edit the system environment variables app. Next, here up advanced tab required, environment variable button required. Click on advanced tab. Click on environment variables button. Click on environment variables. So on Windows environment variables in search bar, click on edit the system environment variables app. Click on advanced tab, click on environment variables button. It is a core Java class also. Okay. Here, after getting this one, you have to clear class path variable already present because you learned JDBC. Select that class path, click on edit, click on new. Here you have to type. Select the class path variable. Click on edit button. Click on new button. Type the following or copy paste. 1 minute. Type the following. Make what? Click on edit button. Click on type the following. Select the class path variable. Click on edit button. Click on new button. Type the following. Software Foundation Tomcat 10.0 lib solid i.jar semicolon. Semicolon not required. Say Windows button, environment variables, edit the system environment variables. Click on advanced tab, this one. Click on environment variable button. Select the class path variable. Click on edit button. Click on new button. And already copied means paste. Otherwise type solid API.jar. After that, OK button, OK button, OK button. Click on OK buttons. Click on open. Over. Command prompt. Right. Java, sorry. Java P. Not recognized means JDK pin. Okay. Now, because this knowledge is required to write programs. Now, this interface methods. This one for writing knowledge. Total five methods are there. Package names I'm removing. methods are there. In 5 methods, only 3 methods are life cycle methods. In 5 methods, only 3 methods are life cycle methods. In it, try. 3 only. That means server knows only 3. Web container knows only 3. Other method server doesn't know. If you are getting class not exception, class not found means you check it again, that class path. Getting Java P not recognized means JDK bin. Java development kit bin folder. But you have the path. The screenshots are there. I'll share in Google Classroom. Okay. That notes also for Java P also, path also, these all screenshots are there. Five there. Okay. Is it over? Big abstract only. Solid option. Okay. Only 3 methods are there. Okay. 2 methods. Init method, service method. Now you already studied to derive life cycle methods. What we have to do? Implements Solid interface. Implement Solid interface. Suppose while writing Solid program, suppose first Solid implements Solid. Then our abstract methods are now whenever interface is inverted, then what we have to do? All abstract method must be overridden. Suppose must be declared with abstract keyword. Compile time error occurs. Then mandatory to override 5 methods. 5 methods. If you don't override any, your class becomes abstract class. If object, then life cycle. So 5 methods mandatory to override. That's what we have an alternative way. Ways are there. Writing Solid program 3 ways. Extending generic Solid 1 way. HTTP Solid 1 more way. Best one is HTTP Solid, but today only not possible all. One by one you'll learn. Now implementing generic Solid is a class. A class. This it is also abstract class. Here 5 abstract methods. Here 1 abstract method. Here no abstract methods. solid interface, generic solid, HDP solid. First program, each and every word you should understand. Okay. With that knowledge, second program onwards, it is nothing. For understanding first program, only 2 more days you have to wait. But that is only welcome program. Welcome program, only 2 more days you have to wait. Okay. Then you will get a 100% clarity. With that knowledge, second program onwards, nothing. Okay. Now you cannot write main method. If you write also, it is not executed because Servlet runs in server. Server doesn't know main method. Execution purpose, lifecycle methods are there. Lifecycle methods, to derive lifecycle, Servlet interface you have to inherit. But if you inherit 5 methods, compulsory you have to override. One more alternative way, generic Servlet. Because Servlet interface already inherited in generic Servlet. Generic Servlet you can inherit in your class. Then one method mandatory to override. Okay, that is one more way. One more way, HDP Servlet. This is also you can inherit. But there is no abstract methods. No method mandatory. But no method mandatory means if you don't write any method, no error, no, that will be happen. So here they given freedom to select. They given freedom. Like there are list of methods are there. You can select whichever you want. That type they given. That's what. These all understanding, it takes time. In a way, not possible to learn all. Okay. So writing Servlet program 3 ways. By implementing Servlet interface possible. By extending generic Servlet possible. By extending HDP Servlet. They won't use Servlet. It will take time to understand. Okay. Now, is it over? But here it is abstract class, but there is no abstract methods. You studied in core Java class. Without abstract methods also abstract class possible. Okay. Without abstract methods, abstract class possible. For writing abstract method, abstract class compulsory. Writing abstract class, abstract method not compulsory. That point you studied in core Java class. Abstract method. For writing abstract method, is it abstract class compulsory? Yes. For writing abstract class, is it abstract method compulsory? Abstract class, no abstract method. Okay. Now, here, if we select first way, 5 methods you have to override. If you select second way, 1 method you have to override. If you select a no method mandatory, but you have to select compulsory. Otherwise, no error, no output. That is the reason you have to select to perform the task. But based on some characteristics, we'll select. Okay. That selection also I'll explain. First of all, note down. There are 3 ways to write Servlet program. First one, by implementing Jakarta.Servlet interface. Second one, by extending Jakarta.Servlet generic Servlets. Third one, by extending Jakarta.Servlet.HDP Servlet class. There are 3 ways to write Servlet program. There are 3 ways to write Servlet program. First one, by implementing Jakarta.Servlet interface. Second one, by extending Jakarta.Servlet generic Servlet class. Third one, by extending Jakarta.Servlet.HDP Servlet class. 3 ways. Online students, listen the class. End of the session, I'll clarify your doubts. I said no. After setting ClassPath also error comes. That is your mistake only. Already set class path means that is you have to check properly. That's what screenshots I'll share. By implementing Jakarta.Solid.Solid interface, by extending Jakarta.Solid.Generic Solid class, by extending Jakarta.Solid.HTTP.HTTP Solid class. 3 different ways. Now, if we implement solid interface, how many methods mandatory to override? 5 methods. Okay. Alternative way, generic solid. If we extend generic solid, how many method mandatory? 1 method. That is service method. That is service method. Okay. But here, no method mandatory, but we have a freedom to select list of methods. From one method, you have to select from list of methods. That later we'll see. First one program with this class only we'll see. Generic solid class. Later HTTP solid I'll explain. Okay. Now, according to steps, what is the first steps to develop web application? Create a web application folder structure. Now, for first program, I given folder structure. In that folder structure, how many folders are there? 3 folders. What are those? First tab, WebINF, classes. These 3. Now, I'll open command prompt. I'll start. You observe. Now I'll open command prompt. Now it is first program without Eclipse. Next program onwards Eclipse only. If it is anyhow solids, you have to learn with Eclipse only because it takes more time otherwise. The folder structures, all those things, it takes more time with manually. From actually Eclipse, you have to start from here, not from JDBC, not from Core Java. Eclipse, you have to start from here only. Okay. Now here first 3 folders we have to create. First tab folder, WebINF folder, classes folder. See now just see MD make directory. MD first tab folder created. CD change directory first tab folder. Okay. MD WebINF CD MD nothing but make directory change directory. MD classes CD classes. You observe 3 folders are created. You can check it. This PC C drive. You observe first tab. See first tab. Just now created. Time also you can see. Okay. Just now created. In first tab. See WebINF. In WebINF classes. Here this folder is empty. Creating folder structure completed. Now this program, this order, everything write it. This just one program. You should know this process also. Okay. These all write it. You should have a knowledge without ID also. It is important. It is most important. You should know. Without ID also you should know. Right is all. Second onwards Eclipse steps. So one second program I'll only solid program you write. First program without Eclipse write the MD first step, CD first step, CD nothing but system we are calling directory. So MD first tab folder created. CD first tab, we entered into first tab folder. In that MD WebINF folder created. CD WebINF, we entered into WebINF folder. MD classes folder created. CD classes, entered into classes folder. Here we have tried solve program. From here itself, we can start it like this. Start notepad .java. Start solid.java. Start notepad for solid.java. Start notepad for solid.java. See, if I press enter, cannot find .java file. Do you want to create a new file? Yes. Click on S. This program we'll see tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see continuation.